Hello out there. Welcome to the Heavy Montes podcast and my comedy show. Ladies and gentlemen, Heavy Monte has said on many podcasts, just about every one, that the Republican Party are made up of notorious liars in America. Now, the Republican Party sold their voters a platform, they say, a Trump platform. A platform of Maganomics, America, they say. Said he was going to put tariffs out there. Now, we have congressmen and we have senators in the Republican Party. The Republican parties in the Congress and the Senate, when they were out of your districts and out of your states, told you a big fat lie. They knew that those tariffs weren't any good. They knew that those tariffs would cost you more money. They knew what Project 2025 was, and they knew that the Republican Party was going to employ Project 2025 and place the architect of Project 25 as the leader of the effort to do this in our country. So the Republican Party lied to their voters. And the biggest lie that they told, starting a long time ago with that fat ass Rush Limbaugh, they created an enemy. And the enemy was liberals, not the Democratic Party. They called them liberals at the time. Bleeding hearts, they said. Said that these liberals, in the Democratic Party, what they're doing is they're taking away things from white people and giving it to the black people. You see what I'm saying? Saying that everybody needs to stand on their 2 feet. Then later on, the Republicans changed the message. And the message now is the government is not doing enough for you. The majority in these red states. And that government is the Republican Party, because all of these red states are controlled by Republicans, House and state senates. Super majority somewhere. And they get a ton of federal money, more than what they pay into the federal tax system. You see? But they didn't tell their voters to stop. They didn't tell their voters that the federal government is services. The federal government is there to protect you. They couldn't tell the people what the federal government is because they wouldn't vote for them. They wouldn't vote for the Republicans because the Republicans wasn't offering anything to them. You see, if the Republicans was out there telling them that they were going to get rid of FEMA and get rid of government services, and people would say, "You're getting rid of my SNAP? You're getting rid of health care, my health insurance? You're making my life harder. You're going to put the pharmaceutical prices back up high. You're going to erase all the things, all the infrastructure money that came in to our states. Just because you don't believe in climate change, you're going to take away all those jobs and kill the auto industry in Michigan. Michigan made a huge mistake. They say that Michigan is the 4th leading state in America. If one thing go wrong, the auto industry, Michigan, done. And the maggots will come out of the corner and say, after they kill the state, they blame the Democrats. Because that's all they do. They play the blame game. And nobody get paid except the maggots. They're the only one that get paid. You see? They give the money to the billionaires, and the billionaires pay them. You understand? But we don't get nothing, the American people. We don't get anything. Now, Donald Trump and his family, they said are multi-billionaires since he took over. But we're not getting any money. The king and his court, they're getting all the money. Now, everybody knows that Donald Trump is a pervert. He said he was. He said he grabbed those women. He 28 women said that, hey, he did something to him. He lost that court case, and they're saying he got to pay that money, $83 million. He got to pay now, they say. The Supreme Court might try to save his ass, and the Supreme Court, they're working hard. That's why I'm telling you, we got to defund that Supreme Court. The Supreme Court now is talking about, giving them power to reinstate the tariffs. They're torturing the American people. So the Supreme Court going to come out and say, it's all right. You see what I'm saying? for him to do that. Because I'll tell you what, it's a catch-22 here. When they approved Obamacare, they said Obamacare was kind of like a tax, they said, right? You see? The Supreme Court will come back and they're going to say, yeah, you know, the tariffs is a tax paid by the American people so the president can do it. He can tax the people he wants. You see, America? You know, when you got a Supreme Court in the back pocket of these maggots, we got a problem. You know, we got a real serious problem here. Because what happened is that you're right at a dictatorship right now. Okay? Because they're controlling everything. You see? The court system, they got the red states. And right now, the voters who voted for Trump, they're the ones who are in trouble. The farmers, they're begging for money. Begging Benny. Borrow, a shoe brush, a hairbrush, or anything they can get. Talking about the president need to send them a check after they vote a pig in like Donald Trump to destroy their farm and get rid of all those beautiful, beautiful Hispanic people. You see what I'm saying? You know? So the Republican Party in trouble. They're running out of time. Running out of time. You know, we need the House. We need the Senate. And Heavy Monte say nobody, no one in America can vote for a Republican. Not unless you're a new fool. A new fool is somebody who's been magnetized, who has been to the maggot church. Somebody who follow, a pervert. Now, John Boone, I want to talk to you. Spotlight. Y'all need to vote. That's how I got out. He talking about after they approved that stinking cabinet, you know what I'm saying? The worst cabinet, unqualified cabinet in the history of America. And everybody know it. DUI, DWI, just plain ignorant, stupid, A cabinet that's in the back pocket of Donald Trump. A DOJ that's working directly for the president. Donald Trump is something else. He hires his whole legal staff. The Republican Party, they took, and approved him. The lawyers that helped him through, through the impeachment and lied and all this stuff and said he didn't do the stuff he really did, his ass should have been impeached. He hired those people. You see? They said that he got criminals, and that ICE, working for ICE. You see what I'm saying? So, building his own army. But an army ain't going to do you no good, and you're going to show your face. When the Democrats take over. We're going to know who the hell you are. We're going to pass a law. We got to say, you got to show your damn face. The Supreme Court will try to come in and say, oh, no, they can put a rag on their head. Around their face. That Supreme Court ain't worth a shit, America. Like Amy Coney Barrett. She looked at handmaiden to me. She said that they are fair. They got fair rulings. That damn bullet suppressionist, John Roberts, he's a bullet suppressionist, in my opinion. And then they got Clarence Thomas. Alito, Carl Lee, they say he hate gay people. He on the court. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Kavanaugh, You said her, the lady said he did to her. And that doggone Clarence Thomas, I think he must be hate people. He probably wake up in the morning upset with himself because he's black. I'm born black, so I'm going to talk to these black people with rulings. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have. A racist, misogynist Supreme Court, a president who is they say he should be on the sex offender list. Somebody say that he should be on the sex offender list. Now that's a shame. You got the president on the side on a telegraph pole. And that's what his ass belongs, Heavy Monte say. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Just for grabbing them women by their private part should have been enough to make them a sex offender. Okay. How many women out there Donald Trump has grabbed by their private parts? Please let the Heavy Monte know so we can tell everybody. Okay? Because he said he did it. He said he did it. He said he grabbed them. And he said you liked it. But America, the Republican Party is funny. They don't have nothing to offer nobody. Now, who do you know is going to vote for the Republicans? I'm going to keep this podcast short tonight because we're having some fun. Before I leave, I had another maggot showed up on my YouTube channel. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, America. This maggot told me that Donald Trump didn't do anything, and I need to stop talking about Donald Trump because Donald Trump is a man of God. He said to me, Heavy Monte, he said that the liberal press is lying on him. He never did any of this stuff that he ever did. And so I wrote him back and I said, you're a big fat liar. And the maggot sent me back a smiley face, right? Because this maggot had a little sense, right? And he said to me, you're right. And I'm proud of that maggot. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of that maggot for saying that Heavy Monte is right, that Donald Trump is a low-down, dirty dog, and the Republican Party, along with that stink-ass Supreme Court, need to be gone in America. You see what I'm saying? So this is Heavy Monte for the Heavy Monte Podcast, the Heavy Monte Comedy Show. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And we're doing pretty good, America. You know, we're closing on the 500. You know, we're going to take our time because we're going to be here until Donald Trump is bullied out of office. Then Heavy Monte might retire his channel and go to gardening. But right now, the old man was on the web talking about it. All right, have a great day, America. Never, ever vote for a Republican.